So now you've taken the time and investigation. You know who all the builders are in your market. You have an idea who's working in the city to help these builders accomplish their goals. You have an idea who the construction financing people are. You maybe know other people in the industry that are already executing in this. You got these long prospect lists, you know, architects, construction financing people. Man, you've done a lot so far. Now what we're going to do is wrap this all up into what are the 5 opportunities that I want you to focus on to be able to grow your business and make money. The number one way, of course, is going to be registering a buyer that you have that's looking for new construction. Make sure you do the legwork in advance, preview the property. If pre-registration is required, make sure you register in advance if it's a large builder or a regional builder. Sometimes that's just not going to be the case. If it's a small builder, you're going to be writing an offer just like you'd normally be writing an offer in any other way. Number 2, get the listing. We've identified the fact that there are a lot of home builders out there that might be regional builders, local builders, or LLCs. They don't have in-house sales professionals. Guess what? They're relying heavily on a real estate professional like yourself to go and take the listing and to promote the house and to put it out there just like you'd take any other listing. Now, before you leap off into the deep end and try to go after that listing, you better have a really good, tight listing presentation that's specifically geared toward new construction. Take a little bit of time and polish that document up. Make sure your listing presentation's spot on. If you need questions or you need help with that, for gosh sakes, reach out. I would love to help you with that. Number 3, large home builders, many times if they're selling 50, 60, or 100 homes in a specific community, they eventually start dialing down until they only have a leftover here and a leftover here. Maybe they sold and closed the model homes and now they're tearing up the parking lot where the sales center used to be and they're going to put a property there. Well, guess what? There's some leftovers there. Now, it might be leftover for a large home builder that's selling 100 houses in a location, but for you, would you want 3 extra listings? I would. Also, it's going to position you as a community expert to start farming and prospecting that entire neighborhood because you're the last real estate professional that's going to be in the environment. It's kind of a really gentle handoff. Take a look and see what opportunities there are. You're going to find these by talking to the sales representatives that are working for the builder in that location and ask them, hey, you're winding down, almost done. Where are you going next? Oh, we're going over to Covenant Hills, or we're going over to blah, 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 this other ABC location. Oh, that's great. Well, geez, gosh, you still have some homes left available here. What are your plans with that? Well, I'm not sure. You know, the sales director said that they might, I don't know, maybe turn them over to a realtor. Ding, 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 ding. Do yourself a favor. Get a name and a number of that sales director and maybe go buy that person a cup of coffee. Number 4, you might consider working directly for the home builder. There's a variety of roles inside that home builder. If it's a large public company or a regional builder and they have their own in-home sales staff, you might choose to sell properties on site, just like one of those people do. That person has reports, so they've got a boss, which is usually a marketing manager or a sales manager, and that person usually reports many times to a vice president of sales and marketing. I've held each of these roles in the past 30 years, and they can be incredibly gratifying. They can be lucrative. You can find yourself in a position where you develop a very high level of expertise in this profession. It's a great place to expand your horizon, and it can be very rewarding. And number 5, offering your services as a professional consultant. You're a subject matter expert. You understand the real estate market better than anybody else in your market. You're a wealth of information. Guess what? Home builders need to understand what you understand. You might be able to interface with a large home builder and have a focus group or put together a focus group, which is a bunch of people in the public, and try to ask them what their preferences are in terms of fit and finish for a project that's proposed that might not be done for 3 years. This way, larger builders are kind of on the cutting edge of what marketability is going to look like in the future. You may weigh in as a consultant on other aspects of that product. In other words, What do you think the right home would be in this particular location at some point in the future? Do you think there's going to be a higher demand for multifamily or multifamily housing and condominiums in this particular location, or do you think we should put workforce housing, which is single family residential homes that are maybe smaller or entry-level properties, or is this a good place that maybe we're going to put a luxury offering or more high-end or more move-up offering in this location? Now, home builders are looking at all kinds of data points, and forward planners are looking at all kinds of data points, very dry information, but they don't always have a real sense of who is the buyer in the market. What is the buyer really looking for? They're looking at demographic information and cyclographic information. They might commission these very expensive studies, but when the rubber hits the road, a lot of those assumptions just absolutely spiral out of control when you produce a home and nobody wants to buy it because it's just not what the market is looking for. Home builders want to reduce their risk, and one of the ways that they can do that is hire someone like you to offer an opinion of what might be likely in the future. And here's your takeaway homework. What I want you to do is I want you to identify 2 or 3 opportunities in each of these 5 categories. You might be in a market that doesn't have large public builders. You may or may not. But even if it's not a large public builder, you still might be able to find a leftover. You might be able to find a smaller builder out there doing spec homes that's having a lot of difficulty moving their homes. And I want you to get involved with that person. Now, also be a little sensitive, because some of these properties are currently listed with brokers and other realtors, and so make sure that you're abiding by the rules and the regulations associated with your board. You don't want to be accused of sign jumping. But the truth of the matter is, a lot of those rules are put in play for individual consumer to consumer type transactions. Home builders are in the business of building homes, and you're not necessarily going after a specific home to list. Maybe you're going after a relationship. A business relationship is not the same thing as sign jumping. Again, be sensitive to this, and please read the rules and guidelines that are set forth in your local board. You don't want to create a problem, you don't want a headache, and you certainly don't want to create enemies in your market.